everybody. Happy Wednesday. We're back and almost happy October. It's bananas. Anyway, let me just make sure that I am up and I am live before we get rolling. I hope you all are having a fabulous day. Let's see. Where are we? There's always a little bit of a delay with events. There I am. Okay. Can you? Yes, you can hear me. Awesome. So I may be looking over at my left just to see if there are any comments that are coming through. But if you are joining me live, give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, let me know that you're here. And if you are watching in replay, definitely let me know that you are watching in replay as well. I am Lori Fisher of Rethink Home Interiors. We're a full-service real estate staging company in the Philadelphia suburbs, and I not only work with sellers and realtors and investors, oh my, I also work with stagers who are looking to grow their successful staging business. So today we are diving into the topic and the content of your email list. What is it? How do you use it for a service-based business? I think a lot of us think that it is just a tool for people in the online space, but that couldn't be further from the truth. So today we are going to dive in. All right. So if you've spent any time with me at all, you've probably heard this kind of three-part framework that I talk about, but if not, this will be new to you. And it's the getting noticed, getting known, and getting new clients is kind of how I like to think about the marketing of our staging businesses. And I always say that getting noticed and getting new clients is the easy part. It's the getting known in the middle, that messy middle, that can trip a lot of us up. But it's once we have gotten known in a space, it becomes much easier to get new clients. So that's why getting new clients actually is one of the easier parts of this framework. And getting known is that part that you spend developing your relationship with the people that follow you, right? So positioning yourself as an expert, helping people get to know, like, and trust you, understanding what your philosophy is. How do you work with your clients? What's your process? What's your passion? What's your niche? Like, who do you love to work with? That is all part of that. And it's also about staying in front of people and reminding them that you are there to help them solve a problem when it arises for them or somebody that they love. And this part takes a lot more work than most of us can ever actually fathom as we get into our businesses. We think very often we'll, start our staging businesses and people right away will be like, oh, heck yeah, I totally want you. I don't know if any of you joining me, hi guys, I don't know if any of you joining me have thought that, but I know I did. I thought, I'm going to start this staging business. People are going to be like, yes, where have you been all my life? I'm going to work with you all the time. And that's not what happens. We are getting invited into people's very private spaces when we do staging work. So people really need to get to know, like, and understand us, and also understand our level of expertise. So that's where the getting known is. And so, it's always important to remember that people buy from people they like, and that takes some time for us to establish in the marketing sphere, right? We go from taking people that are cold and don't even know about us, and we have to move them along a framework to not only getting to know us, but getting to actually full frontal trust us, which, takes a lot of time and energy. So let's just go back a little bit on the basics of marketing your staging business before I dive into how and where the email marketing part and your email list falls into play. So let's assume you've got dialed in like your ideal client, your services, your packages, and your pricing, right? So those are some things you really want to work to dial in. And if you are still figuring those things out right now, no worries. Sometimes it's almost like dating in middle school and high school and maybe even to college or early adult years. You're sorting through relationships to get to understand who's your fit and who's not your fit. So this is very much the same. So if you're still working on ideal client and some pricing and packaging and all of that, don't worry. That will refine itself over time. But let's for a minute just assume we've already figured that out. Hey, John. Hello, honey. I know I've got new glasses today. Thank you for noticing. So anyway, So let's assume you've got that dialed in. And you're going to go out and you're going to start marketing your business. And my business coach that I started with in the very beginning of my business talked about the marketing pie or a marketing wheel, which is all of the spokes of a wheel that you can use to market your business. And so that can be made up of in-person networking, which I highly recommend as you are starting your business. And for several years, in-person networking is one of the most important things you will do, right? So you'll be doing in-person networking. You'll likely be doing, oh, hey guys, popping in. It's so good to see you all. I'm so happy everyone's here. If you're joining me live, definitely give me a thumbs up or a heart so I can see that you're here. That's awesome. So your marketing wheel will also consist of things like speaking, seminars, presentations, teaching courses, whether that's at your local library, whether that's something online. You'll be creating strategic referral partners. So, you might align yourself with a moving company or an organizing company, or, this is when we talk about our realtors, our investors, people that can refer you clients over and over again, right? So that's part of your, your marketing pie, right? The last thing, well, there's several, but one other thing is your strategic keep in touch plan. And this is the part that a lot of people fall short on. This is that kind of messy middle, the getting known and how much effort it actually takes. So there's something called strategic keep in touch. And this is where we want to leverage our things like social media, your email marketing, staying in touch through written communications with the people that you are looking to cultivate, right? So we cannot forget that that's there. So of course you're going to be doing in-person networking. You'll be looking for speaking and presentation opportunities. You'll be looking to create strategic referral alliances, but it's that keep in touch part where the magic actually starts to happen. So many of us go into our networking events and we meet somebody who could be really an ideal fit for us as a referral partner, and we love them and leave them, right? We don't talk to them. We might send them a couple of emails and then we kind of ghost them, they ghost us, and that opportunity gets lost actually for so many of us in business unless we are more strategic about keeping in touch. And the email marketing that you do will help make that so much easier. So let me just dive into, hello, my goodness, there's lots of people popping in today. Hi guys. Sorry, I got so focused over here. Hello to everybody who is joining me. Give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, let me know that you're here. And if you're watching in replay, definitely let me know that as well. We are diving in and talking about email marketing today and your email list. This is huge. So for a lot of us, we don't really understand how we can use email marketing in our in-person business space. And I was in the same spot. I had no clue how to use an email list or to do email marketing for my in-person business, nor did many of the coaches that I worked with. They were all in the online space, and so they were talking to their online people. And it was interesting. I recently heard a presentation with a huge guru in the online marketing space, and somebody asked her, somebody was a realtor and asked how they could use email marketing, and she wasn't actually really sure how you would use your email list as for a realtor. So I know what I've tapped into here is really important. So in the beginning, I did not know how to use an email list or email marketing, but then I had like this huge aha moment when I took a course about creating some kind of free tiny offers to sell to people, and I was like, wait a second, I can use this when I'm in presentations, when I'm meeting with networking partners. I can literally use it. So we're going to go through that exactly toward the end in a few more minutes of exactly kind of how I use an email list, but let's just back up a little bit. So in order to email market, you actually have to have something called an email list. And so an email list is essentially just a mailing list. In the old days, for those of you out there who like paper and pen, we might have had an address book, or we might have had, just a thing on a legal pad with people's addresses. For fancy pants people, they might have had an Excel spreadsheet, and some of you may still have that with, physical addresses. Well, today's version of that, today's online version of that is your email list. And in order to, house an email list, you need something called a CRM, which I'll talk about a little bit more later. But the first thing I want to do is distinguish how this is different, why you would choose a CRM, a customer relation management tool, versus just using your Yahoo, your Google, whatever inbox. So the first thing is, you can't see who's opening your emails if you're sending emails out to a mass mailing list on, by using your regular inbox. So if I use Gmail, if I'm in Gmail, I have no idea who's opened my email or not opened my email. In a customer relation management tool, you can. You can't send out dripped emails. So if I wanted to reach out to Karen, for example, if I wanted to reach out to you and I wanted to send you 5 different emails that kind of take you along a path with me, where I say, hey, it was wonderful to meet you. Here, I'd love to share this resource with you. Would you like to meet for coffee? I don't want to sit manually and send those out from my inbox, my regular Gmail inbox. I would do that through a CRM where all of those emails are already created, and then I can schedule them to go out in certain increments, a day or two after the email preceding it, okay? The other reason why you don't use that is because then you can't see what people are actually responding to. So when you have a customer relation management tool, you will get to see, oh, hey, people really loved when I wrote a blog post about dark sofas. That was one of my biggest opened thing. A lot of people have dark sofas. I talked about how you can stage using dark sofas. So people really responded to that. Maybe they didn't respond so much when I did something about, hey, here's, decor deals you can get for Amazon Prime days. So I'm taking note of what seemed to be, opened more than others. So now I've mentioned the CRM. That's like your first element, but there are actually 4 elements that that email marketing involves. 4 key elements that you need in place. So let's dive into those a little bit. So the first is that customer relationship management tool. This is what people call the CRM, or they call your list. Do you have a list? What people are referring to is, do you have a CRM where you capture email addresses? And I think it's really interesting that it's called a customer relationship management tool. I think it's brilliant because this is exactly what we want to be doing. We want to be curating a relationship with our clients, right? So this helps us do that. So you can use something like Aweber or MailChimp. A lot of times people get hung up because they don't know which are the best to use. I personally use Aweber, and I have used that since the beginning of my business. And so I'm 8 years in, almost, 9 years into my business. It still functions really, really well for me. So I highly, highly recommend Aweber as a service. But again, there are things like MailChimp and Flowdesk and things like that. But the key is that you have one, okay? So that's the first thing. Then the next element you need is something free that you're going to give in exchange for an email address. So for those of you who have followed me for a long time, I preach the free lead magnet kind of idea, free irresistible offer. And many of you have probably signed up for these before, right? So you know that what happens is you see something enticing that someone is giving away for free. Many of you that are watching have downloaded the Profitable Staging Business Starter Kit, which I have the link for that up in the captions above. Many of you have signed up for that. What happens is when you see that, you see something that could be of value to your business, and you want to give me your email address so that I can send that to you. In the back end, what's happening is your name and your email address are getting added into my CRM, right? So that's kind of how those two work together. And I'll share with you how you do that when you're doing like an online presentation or meeting with a realtor as a coffee chat or having a phone conversation with him, how you can take and use that free lead magnet to move the conversation along and get them onto your email list. And I mentioned the Profitable Staging Business Starter Kit. Inside of that kit, if you want to grab that, I walk through some ideas for free lead magnets, and they don't have to be fancy. It could be as simple as a Word document, which is how I started. But I walk you through some ideas to kind of get the juices flowing there, because it is an incredibly valuable tool in your staging business for your marketing. The next thing that you need is consistent communication around your free offer. So you need to be sharing this, and this is one spot where people fall short as well. You need to be sharing consistently. Once you've got that free lead magnet, shout it from the flipping rooftops, people, okay? Because it's so valuable, you want people to have it, so you want to be sharing it. And so if you follow me on Instagram or you follow me on Facebook, you will see that we post about my free lead magnets, whether that is the ebook, Sell Your House in 72 Hours, or the Profitable Staging Business Starter Kit. Like, those are things that we routinely rotate through our social media marketing. And the reason that we do that is so that we can take people who follow us in those places, and then we can stay in touch with them on a more personal basis through our email list. Because remember, if Instagram and Facebook change an algorithm tomorrow or they go away, we don't have access to the people that follow us there. We don't have a way to stay in touch with them anymore. But once we have someone's email address, that is where we can stay in touch with them always. We own that. It's a very, very valuable asset in our businesses, our email list. And then the fourth thing you need, so you need your customer relationship management tool, your CRM, Aweber, MailChimp. You need a free lead magnet, a free offer, right, in order to have people give you their email address for that. And then you need consistent communication about that free thing, but then you need consistent communication with the people who have now become someone in your community, your online community, in your list. So this is where you want to stay in touch on a weekly basis. I would say maybe you could get away with every other week staying in touch with people there, but this is where you want to share things like blog posts and updates about your business or any promotion you might be running in your business. But the consistency is the key part, and I just want to remind you and caution you that those last two things, the consistency of communication around your lead magnet, consistency of communication to your email list, those are the two hardest parts. And I think a lot of us get hung up on the beginning, the two tech parts, creating the lead magnet, signing up for your customer relationship management. Those things are super easy. And those are super easy because if you don't know how to do it, there are many places that you can go to hire somebody for very little money in most cases for them to set that up for you. It is the consistency and over time. And think about this. If you are on a journey of anything, think about if you're on a journey to want to get better at a skill set or, get healthier or whatever. The results that you see aren't usually immediate. It is very rare that you will see super immediate results with some of those things. It is consistent action over time, right? And it doesn't have to be huge action. It just has to be consistent, right? So that's the part where most people get tripped up. And a lot of us get tripped up too because we will sit and look at our email list and it might have 5 people on it. And guess what? That's how I started. That's how everybody started. We all start with, our siblings, our parents, maybe our kids on our email list. And for the longest time, that for me was what my list was. So every week I was emailing my parents and, family, and I was going like, hey, my mom did not open my email this week. Huh, interesting. But we all start out there. And so I want you to know that you can't really base your future on what you're seeing in the present moment with your email list. This is a long-term strategy. This is really how you do business today, but you have got to get through the demons and the mindset around you feel like you're not talking to anybody. It's the consistency. Okay, so anyway, that's my little, sorry, I'll hop off my little soapbox there. So let's get into like practicalities. What does this look like in a staging business? Okay, so this is how we do this in our staging business. So the first thing is we want to think about expert positioning, right? So let me back up. How do we get people on our email list for our local in-person staging business? So I created my free lead magnet, which is the ebook version of Sell Your House in 72 Hours. There's the hard copy of it, but I also created it had it created into a PDF so I could share it for free with people. So when I go to a presentation, when I go to a networking event, when I meet with a realtor, I will say to them, would you like a copy, a free copy of my ebook, Sell Your House in 72 Hours? If you do, give me your email address and I will send that to you. Boom, done. That's how they end up on my email list. Back when I used to do presentations, I would often give away a free consultation or something like that, and I'd have everybody give me their business cards, and I would call out that person to do a free staging consultation. Typically, actually, I will tell you, no one ever called for the consultation after that. Part of the reason was that I didn't stay in touch with them on a regular basis because I didn't know I was supposed to be doing that. So everything I'm giving you in this training is like legit gold, guys. I did not know I was supposed to be keeping in touch on a very regular basis with these people, and I also didn't know how to. So if I were to do that today and say, hey, everybody give me your business card and I'll do a free consultation for your client, everybody whose email address ends up, or business card who ends up in that little, bowl that I'm pulling from, ends up getting added into our email list so that I can send them a thank you afterwards, and I can send them a copy of my free ebook. And we have a whole series of emails that go out to those people that move them along and then invite them to a coffee, date meeting to move it further. So that is what that looks like. Then expert positioning comes through weekly content. So over the years, it has been blog posts, it has been free training sessions. I don't have a podcast, but it could be that at some point if that's something that you want to do. It's new listing alerts. So whenever we have a new listing that goes live, we send that out to our email list so people know, hey, oh, look, she's working with such and such a realtor. And they see that over and over and over again, and they know that that realtor is very successful. Well, that says something to them. It positions us as the expert because not only are we actively out working and doing things, we're actually aligning with realtors in their marketplace. So it builds the know, like, and trust factor. Over the years, I have used the blog to share my philosophy, my thoughts, ways that we deal with our clients. How do we think about a house? Words that we will use and not use with your clients when we work with them. So people have gotten to see a bit of how the inside of our service works, even if they've never worked with us before. We can ask for referrals to our email list, and we can do this because we have given so much free information over the years through the blog post and the free things that we send out, and the free marketing and PR we've done for our clients through our new listing alert. So we have no problems asking for referrals to their colleagues. So that can help you grow your business. And you can grow your income because we've actually received referrals over the years from people that have not worked with us yet, who actually have just been in our sphere and they know that we're good at what we do, but maybe they haven't had the opportunity to work with us yet. We've gotten referrals from people like that. So this is how it works in a real staging business, right? You create your free lead magnet. You have your CRM set up, right? Then you share that free lead magnet everywhere you go. You share it at all of your in-person events. You invite people to, you say, if you want a copy of it, I'd love to send it to you. Just give me your email address and I will make sure that that happens. And then you stay in touch with them on a regular basis. This is what marketing is today, guys, period. It's been like this for like a decade. So if you're new to business, don't worry if you didn't know this or you're still learning this or you're still figuring it out. But this is the way business is done these days, and this is the way marketing is done these days. So anyway, I invite you to, if you haven't already, download your copy of the Profitable Staging Business Starter Kit, where it gives you the free lead magnet guide inside of that will give you some ideas. Continue to tune in here on Wednesdays because we go through all kinds of training topics. Sign up for your CRM. Let me give you some homework. Sign up for your customer relationship management tool if you haven't done it already, and begin to think about what kinds of things you can do to stay in touch with your people once you get them onto that email list. Okay, awesome. All right, guys, I thank you so much for being here today. I will see you again next week, where we're talking about actually marketing intentionally as a part of this series on email marketing, because for so many of us, when we're first starting out, we can seem like really scattered, but I'm going to share with you some strategies about being intentional, and how you can begin to create your content a little bit easier that you're going to be sending out to keep in touch. Okay, all right, guys, have a fabulous rest of your day, and I will see you next week in the training sesh.